So I grew up as a Catholic. I'm a cradle Catholic. Went to Mass always as a child, was part of the choir, altar served, all those things, good things, went to Catholic schools. But I never had a relationship with the Lord. I didn't quite know that Jesus was real. Like, I saw him more as a book character, Bible character. I was familiar with stories of Jesus, but I didn't see how they related to my life in the slightest. And I didn't really have like models of faith in my life. I didn't know what a God-loving person really looked like. And so when I went into my teenage years, I was always curious, and I always believed in spiritual things, I couldn't watch horror films because they were just too real to me. In my teenage years, I kind of got more interested in New Age things. I didn't realize that they were against God, and it wasn't a rebellious thing. They just intrigued me. Things like yoga and tarot card reading and things like that. And just about as those interests were growing, I ended up at a U2000 retreat, not by my own trying. Something just fell on my lap, and for some reason I wanted to go. I didn't actually quite understand that it was a Catholic retreat, so that's another reason I ended up there. And that was the first time I actually considered that Jesus was real, that he walked this earth, that there was a God who loved me and that actually cared about my life. I didn't really think about God in that way before, that he cared about me and that he saw me individually. So after that, I started to just delve into my faith a bit deeper. Just going to prayer meetings, things like that, trying to meet people who believed in God and actually lived it out. But soon after, I started university, and the faith that I had developed up until that point just started to just collapse. I was really lukewarm. I kind of had my foot in the world and in the Lord. I had a very divided heart, and I didn't want to change my lifestyle. I didn't want to risk losing friends. I didn't want to risk looking different. I was just so full of anxiety, actually, and I didn't want to change. But there was such a burning in my heart to know the Lord more, and I knew that he was the truth. I knew it deep down that he was the truth, and that I was hurting him by my actions. But I didn't care enough to stop. So life in university, I continued just a wrong way of living, a really wrong way of living. And in my final year, I kind of reached a stage where I was in my deepest sin. And I couldn't recognize myself anymore. I didn't know who I was anymore, and it really hurt. But I knew that Jesus knew who I was, and I knew if I wanted to know who I was, that I'd have to go to him and ask him. So I wrote him a random letter on a random night in my final year of university, and about a week later, COVID-19 hit Ireland, and we went into lockdown. And that was such a gift to me. I know to others it wasn't, but I was able to be removed from all the influences, all the bad influences, and actually focus on what I believed and how I wanted to live my life. And I could start to live it in a way that, I wasn't surrounded by this atmosphere of sin. Just delved deeper and deeper into my faith during this time. Became more acquainted with people who were believers, young people, really cool people. It was just a really great time. It was difficult in ways because I had to make changes, but I was willing to start to change. I really wanted to change. And just as all of that was happening, Craig Lodge came out of nowhere, found it on Instagram, had no desire to be a missionary. I was happy living my life as a speech and language therapist. The Lord convinced me. He made it happen. It wasn't by my own doing. And he gave me the courage to do it because it was a big step for me to leave home, to leave my job, to leave my friends, to leave my family, to come to a place where I knew no one. And it's been the best decision I've ever made, and I've grown so much this year in ways that I think I'll be unpacking for the rest of my life on what has happened here. yeah, so that is my testimony so far.